I'm Gabriel, RI class of 2002.
I'm Ravin, RI class of 2002. Both Gabriel and I were in Sec 2F, and Mrs. Jasbir Ko was our form teacher and our literature teacher.
One of the most memorable things about our time with Mrs. Koh and RI was that she always found ways to bring joy, life, and excitement into our everyday classes, whether it's doing skits or acting out whose line is it anyway, or even having football games with our rival class 2E at that time. She 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 found ways to not just care about the curriculum and engage us, but and not just bringing what she thought was important into the class, but engaging us as equals and as young adults to figure out what we liked and what we enjoyed to ensure that we were all brought together and grew together.
Speaking of football games, she even organized a game in Manchester when we went there for a literature trip. She didn't have to do that because we were there just to be literature gigs, but all she wanted to do was make sure that we enjoyed the trip. It was a memorable one for us, and we obviously had a lot of fun playing that match, and it's a lot of extra work that she didn't have to go through. Moreover, while we were there, we had students who broke their leg, people who lost their luggage, but she was there to take care of everything, and nothing phased her. She was truly the motherly figure that we had at school.
And there were times where we took her kindness for granted. Mrs. Cole, do you remember there was a time that we had to bake you a cake? We upset you. I can't remember why, but whether it's the whole class coming together, us singing A1s like a rose, or Ashwin, Kailash, and Amok baking you a cake, when we presented that to you, you welcomed us back in with loving arms, and that really brought us all so much closer together as a class going forward as well.
Mrs. Ko, we're really grateful for you. When a student thinks back of his school, he doesn't probably remember many things that he learned, but we think about you and we remember the love and the passion that you had for teaching and taking care of us. This is why until today, we call you back for all our weddings, and every year we extend the invitation to you to join us at the ORA dinner, and we hope that you continue to accept the invitation. Thank you, Mrs. Ko.
Thank you, Mrs. Cole. We love you.
We love you.
Hello, I'm Sulin. Hi, Sulin. I've been teaching in RI since 2005, but I was a student in the school in 1998. And to Mr. Mike Evans, who was my literature teacher then, right, first, thank you for showing me what a love of reading, a love of literature, and a love for excellence looks like. Many things that you did in your classroom, I think has really shaped what I am as a teacher today. And I also like to say hello to all my colleagues in the literature department, past and present. So from teachers whom I worked with when I first started teaching, I've had past classmates like Mr. Ng Chun Ping and Miss Rachel Chen. I knew you as students, and it was great knowing you as a colleague. To the teachers who were new after I had joined. So, I feel that maybe I had a little part in mentoring Miss Gina Fu, and right now, right, Miss Esther Lee in the department, right? It's been really lovely watching all of you grow as teachers, right? And hopefully that the love of literature that you still have, right? And the sorts of lessons that you want to teach your students, I think that is great that I could see in you, and I hope that we've been able to bring it out. But I think most of all, right, I'd really love to say hello to all the teachers who are teaching with me in the lit department now, right? Mrs. Nicola Perry, you've been a great partner to work with, and I love the way as well that when I was a new teacher, right, you showed me what was important in literature, right? The detail, right? The love of language, the way that you relate to students so warmly and so personally, right? I really think that that's something that I have learned a good deal from. Mr. Jeff Purvis, who very memorably said to me, it's okay if you haven't read everything. You feel that as a literature teacher, you should know everything and have an opinion on every single writer. And he reads so much. He's the sort of person who, if he's sitting at a bar, he'll have a book with him. Not, he wouldn't be chatting with anyone else. He'll be catching up with his reading. And he's so well read. And I think having him say it's okay not to have read everything or to know everything, that was super important. He was one of my S-paper tutors, so he's been a teacher, and he's been one of my teachers from the very first. Miss Lim Hui Miao, who took me on my literature trip when I was in JC1. You know, it's been great getting to know you as a person and your own teaching and learning style, right? The amount of effort that you put into every single lesson. Even now that you've taught so many years, you know, every time I feel like I want to stop teaching and stop working for these ungrateful students, I think, you know, Miss Lim, you inspire me anew. And Miss Vera, whom we actually started teaching in this school together. Miss Vera and Miss Sam Prakash, right? We all started at about the same time. So it's been amazing to come up the school with you and learn at the same time and you know, at the same pace, all the different challenges that we faced. You know, there have been years where teachers left halfway through the year and we had to pick up a text in the center of the year and just teach it. The time when there weren't enough teachers, and so, you know, we found ourselves juggling many classes. When teachers were unable to mark because of medical conditions, and suddenly there was a lot of marking. I think that your dedication and your willingness to just put in the extra effort and extra hours for the sake of the students has always been, you know, not just an inspiration, but something that kept me going as well. Because I think, you know, all of us share this same commitment and dedication, right, to the learning and to the welfare of our students. So thank you for being with me as I learned how to be a teacher. Thank you for inspiring me as a teacher when I was only a student, you know, and I hope that, you know, with every teacher in the RI literature department that we just continue in our little corners, reading strange poems that no one else wants to read as we set our exams together, you know, and just knowing that that we are continuing this lesson, well, the love of language, the love of reading, and you know, just human lessons that we learn from people who were never even alive, but who we are learning lessons from. Okay, yeah. So just thanks everyone, and I'm glad that, you know, all of you were part of my journey in becoming a teacher.